Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
All right, well, we're heading back home. Well, I recorded my speech. That was the last episode. And yes, you're right. I, like you, do not like listening to the sound of my voice. I don't think my voice sounds good. I think I sound dopey. I talk too fast. I have too many bullet points to keep track of. But a takeaway I have from that is valuable to know how your voice lets people perceive you. And probably if I'm my harshest critic, if I can meet my own criteria, probably in an okay spot. Probably my biggest takeaway, 2 of them tonight. So we'll do 2 takeaways. Actually, we're going to do in 3. We'll go quick. We're almost done. First and foremost, gather feedback. At the end of it, now listening to my recording, and I'm learning how to do my voice better. So you can probably tell last episode and this is me completely different from this episode going forward. Second one, it's going to be practice. Practice your bullet points. Practice the things that matter. Put together way too much content because in the moment, the room is going to read you a certain way. You're going to be feeling a certain kiss for your message. So I had probably a dozen bullet points. I had my whole speech outline talked about. And I ended up pivoting to 3 bullet points that I didn't pick up until like right before the evening because those resonated with me. At the end of the day, the people don't need you to read from a teleprompter. The audience doesn't need to hear what you have to say about your big, complex analogy. They need to be moved in the heart by what you have to say that speaks in that moment in time. So I did that. And after rehearing it, being my harshest critic, I think it came across pretty okay. Maybe a 6 out of 10. And I was expecting a 10 out of 10. I was probably going to give myself a 3 out of 10. So if I'm giving myself a 6 out of 10, I think that strategy is the right strategy. And then 2 other parts. One of the members came up afterward. She's been a member at the studio for years under previous owners, even the prior owners. And folks have different stories. Funny, people have stories about management and ownership style. The first owner who opened this location, he owner-operated. He ran the shifts, went to his day job, then worked the night shift. The next owner worked the morning shifts, then worked his day job. The third owner, this was his day job. And I'm now the 4th owner in 9 or 10 years. And for me, this is not my day job. I work on this place a lot while I'm at home, but it's very much a manager is the captain of the ship. And the first few months were kind of rocky, and that's fine. And now we're picking up momentum. And hearing like some small wins, like, hey, this is going well. This is really working out well. And that's actually really reinforcing to hear. And final point, had a chance to talk with someone who was just at my table. She and her husband came, and it was great. They're former owners, and they're still members at some of the Farrell's clubs in the Twin Cities. And it's funny, she said, well, their studio isn't open anymore. It's closed now. But she said in years past, in her head, it was always, she wanted to get her club up to the level that my studio was at before I ever even bought it. Wanting to get to that level or have that revenue. And lo and behold, I told her, like, hey, what it seemed. And when I bought it, it thought I was buying what I thought it was too. And the reality is, and I didn't give her the full details. I don't think I'm telling everyone the full details. Probably just this podcast is getting the details. So to get to, there's to get your studio to the level where my studio was at, you would have had to drop your morals. You would have had to play accounting games. You would have had to cook the books. Or you would have had to have incredibly high revenue numbers that weren't even achievable. And there's a reason why the folks sold it and they didn't keep it. If it was low stress, big money maker, they wouldn't have sold it. It's rare that people sell that. And so I think she had a light bulb moment of like, all right, this idol that I had wasn't even a real. And if I would have valued the idol, I would have had to drop my personal beliefs, my values to reach the idol. And I would have had to give up things that are matter. And she said, before they closed things and wound things down, one of the things that helps her sleep at night is they probably changed hundreds. No, we probably changed thousands of lives over the course of our ownership. And now they're building life 3.0, 4.0, but they've changed lives. And if they don't have their studio anymore, it was a good. So, really cool conversations, really great preparation, phenomenal evening, definitely a lot of fun. And I'm learning as well how to pick goals. What really should I be focusing on? What's the idol? Is the idol supposed to be an idol? At the end of the day, only God should be my idol. Everything else is a distraction. So this is probably the most somber episode because I'm trying out my new speech style and I'm going to talk slower because my brain thinks probably 5 times faster than my mouth can keep up with. But I want these words to carry weight. I want them to mean something. I want to practice and get better at how I communicate. I'm going to share with you how I'm learning and growing and got one shot at life. We're going to make it count the first time around because it's the last. Where we're at, where we're going. Let's rock and roll.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY Due Diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.